Hello, everyone. This is Laura K. Ellis with another session today, another teaching. I know it's been a little while, but I've been very busy. So I've taken some time today, this Sunday, and given the fact that I know, we all know, hopefully, that Saint Valentine's Day is coming, I wanted to address this session with a question. And that is, based on relationships, what do you think is stopping you from obtaining true love? I'm going to address this because I have some possibilities, some very strong possibilities. Of course, we're addressing the collective here, but some of these answers that I have might surprise you. And the first one is, what is stopping you? Your lack of self-appreciation, of self-love, knowing your self-value. Now, I know that, many people say, well, I'm okay. I think I'm okay. And I keep attracting these less than desirable relationships with individuals that are verbally or physically abusive or stonewalling, which I've talked about before. Basically very undesirable relationships. And many of you stay in these relationships with one excuse after the other. I'm sorry, but that's what they are. Because if you had strong self-confidence, self-value, and self-awareness, you wouldn't be in any situation where you're being downgraded at all, ever. Okay? So let me say this. That's the first thing. But, relationships are one of the biggest problems we face in life, and often the most painful. Because why? Because it involves our emotions. Even without a physical bruise, we feel deeply wounded in some of these relationships, and it really does take a long time to recover. Once, emotional damage has taken place, and when I say that, I'm talking about where it originated from, the cause. And the cause is almost always, if not always, my friends, from childhood. Everything goes back to childhood, and we can start at the third trimester in the womb, because our unconscious minds are wide open at that time, like sponges taking in water. And anyone in our environment, mom, dad, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, stepfather, stepmother, whatever it is, in the first years of our life, our unconscious mind takes that information in and almost, to use the analogy, cements it into your personality. So what happens is, that emotional damage can manifest later in adulthood and in many different ways. And I say that because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. It knows, dysfunction as dysfunction. It knows abuse as abuse. It knows addiction as addiction, but it doesn't specify, it doesn't record specifically what that is. Okay? So there is a better way to get over these programs, if you will, or broken relationships, and without the constant reminders. Okay, but I'll talk about that a little later. Right now, if you are or have been recently going through a broken relationship, then I would say that you've probably heard every comforting word there is, listening to every sad song, released, or gobbled up countless tubs of ice cream to bring you some relief, so you think, and it's all in the hope of getting better over time. Okay? What I really want to say here again is that, we all have deep rooted, excuse me, I'll call them assumptions. And the most common, which is very relevant to the subject of what do you think is stopping you from attracting true love, all-encompassing love, is what I have found and what I've learned is the belief that happiness, okay, is found outside of ourselves. The belief that happiness will be found in external conditions. And that also applies to, I need a boyfriend, or I need a man, or I need my boyfriend to do this, or no. Those are all red flags and should be to you that you need to do some inner work. Okay? The belief that happiness will be found in external conditions is incorrect. It's a false belief. And a good example of this thinking would be also, let's just say two people are living together and they're in the same situation. I've talked about this before. When one of them is happy and the other's miserable, but our views and our happiness become at odds with how things really are. So when we're in need and we feel like we need love or we need a relationship, and we do that, we take on individuals, again, based on past programming, okay, that are really not suited for us. They could be narcissistic. That's the most challenging of them all, really. Excuse me, because you'll never win that or win them over. But what I will say is you need to surrender. You need to let go and let go of those desires and the actions if you do go from one relationship to the next, which is not healthy. And that's why you're going from one to the next instead of sustaining a relationship, okay? We need to heal. And you need to heal because the actions that you took before these less than desirable relationships, right? You basically gave birth to them. You have to be accountable and understand that. Not consciously, but unconsciously. But what you also need to do is to accept that change is possible. Okay? Change is possible with new focused thoughts and using the imagination, images, I will say during hypnotherapy. And to surrender, it does require some effort. There is some work involved. And it is tied also to trust. It's a process. But trusting in your own personal power and then the connection that you have to creative source, God, the universe, however you want to refer to the higher power as, which makes you most comfortable. So in order to stop attracting less than desirable relationships, you first need to let go and surrender. Surrender the past or the current reality that's not working for you. Okay? Because you need your mind to be free, at least enough to have focus and calm concentration. So you'll be able to notice the ways in which you presently shouldn't or are uncomfortable or know that you won't accept current circumstances that are not good for you, okay? And yet many people continue to hold on, as I said earlier. It's a total waste of time, my friends. Okay? Time spent simply caught up in distractions and wishful thinking and feelings that are not valid, or paying too much attention to the delusion of the current state of being. In other words, referring and telling yourself, oh, it's not so bad, or it's okay, or it'll get better tomorrow, or maybe the next individual will be better and better suited for me. None of that will take place until you heal. Don't think about couples therapy or psychotherapy. I've had so many clients come to me and they have run that gamut and it doesn't work. Okay? It just doesn't work. They keep rehashing and using the facilitator, the therapist, as a coach, a go-between. And nothing ever gets resolved. It's never addressed on the subconscious level. So when they come to me, that's already out of the picture, and I'm not surprised. Okay? You need to trust in your own personal power, trust in Source, God, if you will, and surrender and focus on your own healing. Okay? And when we're in relationships, I just want to say this, when we're in relationships that aren't good for us, or we keep repeating the same, similar, if not the same, patterns in the attraction process of our relationships, you need to know that beyond what I'm saying, at the very depth, at the very cause, it isn't your fault. Now, if you're with a narcissist, they're going to make you believe, pardon me, after a period of time, or even start right away to gaslighting you and having you believe that it's all your fault and that you're worthless and that you're this and you're that and you could be this and you could be that. But all they're really doing, they're feeding. It's like a feeding frenzy off of your energy. And you shouldn't be giving your energy to anyone unless they deserve it. Right? They have to deserve and be as kind to you as you are to them, if not more so. To have a key, if you will, to the door, to real love, to agape love, putting you first, not themselves first, right? And without any substance abuse involved. There is no connection to source energy when individuals are alcoholics or chronic drug users, even chronic marijuana smokers, whatever it is, they're toxic. And source is not toxic. So it's like trying to put a plug into an outlet that doesn't fit. So you can pray all you want to until the cows come home, but if it's not reaching the higher vibrational energy source, if you will, you get nowhere. It's not possible. Okay? So there are various meditation practices that can help. But what I want to offer you here today is to be mindful of surrender. Okay? And I know in my own personal experiences, you must surrender if you want change. Okay? And change isn't always comfortable, but it does deliver its rewards. That's a given. So, hypnotherapy is an accelerated way to get to the root cause of why, you are not attracting true love in your life, or dysfunctional relationships. Okay? And in doing that, it reaches the level of mind where the cause began. So in childhood, which is absolutely necessary. And it's not going to happen in one session. Many of my clients, if not most of them, are in their midlife, late 30s and forward. And so You've got year upon year upon year of programming that you continually reinforced because you didn't know any different, all right? But now I'm enlightening you on what's really happening here, okay? So hypnotherapy is accelerated change, and it's proven to help you in so many ways, not just regarding relationships. But what I want to offer you today is in the description, there'll be, I did a workshop some years ago that was very, it was about an hour long, but it was very powerful. And the clients that came and those thereafter, because it's on recording now, or it has been, just really felt like it was eye-opening. There's some things in the workshop that I haven't talked about today. And also, I want to encourage you to, while you're there, if you decide to purchase that recording, which I would strongly suggest you do, you have the opportunity to obtain the complimentary ebook on love and needing. And that's based on a true story, a true client story. The names have changed, of course, that I had. And again, another eye-opener in a different way. So those are what I have for you today. You deserve to be free, you deserve to be happy. And please know that it's never too late, and any situation that you're in can be transformed as long as you're committed to change. And you know exactly how to do that. And that's what I offer you. So for now, I'm going to say so long, and I'll see you on the next one. And please feel free, again, to reach out to me. If you have any questions, you can do that through the description box as well. And if you purchase the MP3, you'll get the free ebook. Okay, I'll send that right out to you. I have my assistant send it right out to you. And you'll have some things, some food for thought for sure. But I can assure you they're not something you'll find, you won't find collectively every day. Okay? Take good care of yourselves for now. See you on the next one.